Good morning from Havasupai. This is the most expensive backpacking permit in the United States. So this week we are taking you along to see all of the waterfalls here at Havasupai and give you our honest review of whether it's worth the money.
I'm not super good at judging heights.
Did you just say you're hot?
Yep. Yeah. Grand Canyon's pretty when it's not unbearably hot. So this whole thing was a bit of a spontaneous endeavor for us. We got in around 10 p.m. last night, just camped at a KOA about 30 minutes away. We woke up at 5 a.m. this morning to pick up our permits at 6 a.m. right when they opened. We had about an hour drive to the trailhead here, and now it's about 7:45 and we are starting our hike.
What's that?
This is the wristband you need to put on. You're Nina Cummings too.
Oh.
Let's go hike 10 miles.
We parked our car, and you can tell it's crowded because we had to park at least a quarter, if not a half mile from the actual trailhead.
Our biggest challenge today is trying to beat the heat. It feels great outside right now, but it can get up to 95 degrees today, so we're gonna try to make it to our campsite before it gets to that point.
We just made it to the bottom of switchbacks, and we passed loads of just gassed hikers that are getting out early before it gets too hot. We're also getting passed by tons of mules that are carrying packs out. It just been going non-stop.
All right, we're about to cross over into the sun, and I'm hot in the shade. I will say though, this hike is pretty beautiful so far, and this is gonna be controversial, but I'm kind of not the biggest fan of the Grand Canyon. At least the times that I've been, it just hasn't wowed me, but this might redeem the Grand Canyon for me.
Every now and then you walk up next to these big shelves and they provide shade, and it's very nice when it's 95 degrees out. We've also heard the helicopter all morning just like passing laps, probably dropping off supplies. People that don't want to hike in or hike out is annoying from a backpacking perspective, but it is a nice safety net to know that, like, hey, if something were to happen, if there's a medical emergency, getting a helicopter ride out is no big deal. Neen, how we doing?
We're doing surprisingly good. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to make it. If you asked me 3 days ago, I'd have been like, no way, I feel terrible. But here we are, probably like 3 going on 4 miles in. So, 6 or 7 more to go.
There's definitely a big bottleneck of people right at the start of the hike. A lot of people are starting at the same time, and all the people that are packing out early, and then all the mules. So once you actually get in to the hike, it calms down. I probably haven't seen anybody for maybe 30 minutes now. So it's actually starting to feel like backpacking.
Mile 5. There's a big descent when you first start this trail for the first mile or two, but then after that, it's been really mellow on the way in and mostly flat. We are descending just a little bit because the walls of the canyon are just getting taller and taller and taller as we get closer to Havasupai. We're just over halfway and we have a sign. We're definitely starting to feel the heat, so this is very encouraging to see. All right, we've officially reached the entrance to Supai Village, which is super exciting, but there is a sign here saying no photos or videos inside the village, so we will catch up with you on the other side.
We just made it through Supai Village, and you might have just got a peek of it in my hand, but we scored an Arizona green tea from the grocery store in there. Always happy to support the local economy.
I know we're on the home stretch. I'm just waiting to see like Navajo Falls or 50-foot falls. I know they're coming up. It is hot, really hot. We're pretty much super exposed in the sun.
I'm starting to hear some waterfalls, and we're walking downhill, starting to get me pretty excited.
Beautiful.
But we can't enjoy it just yet.
No, we gotta get rid of these backpacks first.
We're pretty adamant about finding a good campsite to set up base for the next few days. We just walked by Havasupai Falls, and that was absolutely heart-wrenching. Our legs are cooked. My body is cooked. It is so hot out right now, but we've officially entered the campground area, so now we're just looking for a camp spot. So crowded.
I am exhausted. I need to chill right now, and then I want to get in that falls as fast as possible. I also need food and some sustenance.
We made it here at 12:21. A little bit faster than I expected. We were going a little bit faster than 2 miles per hour. For 10 miles, that's not too bad, especially with a lady that's not feeling the best. So very proud of how Nina did. All right, the play right now is to rip these bad boys off and go get in the water right next to our campsite to cool down. Doesn't that feel good? Just finished setting up camp, eating some lunch. If you're not planning to move your campsite the entire time that you're here, finding a good campsite's pretty competitive. So the earlier you can arrive on the day that you get here, the better. By the time we got to our camp, our Arizona was no longer cold. So instead of drinking it right when we got here, we decided to leave it in the river to cool it back down. And now we're gonna go drink it at Havasu Falls.
So we came down to Havasu Falls almost 2 hours ago. Went for a quick swim, which initially was cold, but then it was so nice just to cool off and get to a normal temperature. And then we took a little nap here in our hammock.
Like, there's a little spot that you're actually getting to jump from underneath the falls. So maybe I'll get to fulfill my dream of cliff jumping in Havasu Falls later this trip when we come back.
And for the rest of the day is to head back to camp, make some dinner, and get to bed early so that we can show you guys even more of the waterfalls tomorrow. On our way back to our campsite, we will show you some of the bathroom facilities and water fill-ups that they have here down at the campsites.
And in the bathrooms, they actually have toilet paper, so you don't even need to bring your own, although I would always recommend doing that. And things like hand sanitizer to stay clean and freshen up after. That being said, the toilets still aren't the nicest, so they've even got some wood chips to help mitigate the smell. And it is really nice to have a place to be able to go to the bathroom and not have to worry about privacy. They've also got an entire table of leftover fuel canisters, so I'm looking forward to not having to use ours for the rest of the trip. What do we got here?
With our little spring, this is for the whole campsite to fill up water.
And even though the water at the Fern spring should be safe to drink, we like to filter our water anyways, just in case. We were a little worried about how far we were going to camp from the spring, so we brought extra bladders to serve as water reservoirs, so that way we don't have to keep coming back to the spring to fill up. We don't really have any good trees here at camp, but I really want to set up my hammock, so I built this pretty interesting contraption, and let's hope it holds.
They're like on the ground.
We got these new sleeping pads that we're really excited to use from Sea to Summit, and they have a very interesting way of being inflated.
We got the tent set up before we took our little break, but now it's time to build the beds for dinner.
Dinner time. Decided to use my free fuel. Normally when I'm making freeze-dried food on a little adventure, it's super exciting because like the food bag is super warm and you're probably cold. But with how hot it was today, we're gonna have to wait a while for our food to cool down before we can eat it. Never want to put in too much water with these things. And then we're also gonna have some of my favorite tea tonight. My mom put me onto the sweet and spicy, even caffeine free. While we eat dinner, we're gonna debrief the day as well as kind of lay out the plan for the rest of our trip to Havasupai. As for the layout at camp, you have Havasu Falls right at the start, as well as the spring to fill up for water. And then you have this huge kind of party section where all the big group campsites are. And then in the middle, you're gonna have two different sets of restrooms on each side of the river. Me and I are right here on the side. And it's pretty much just us here, which is awesome, which is what we wanted. And then as you continue down, there's another restroom. And at the end of that, you'll have Mooney Falls leading on to Beaver Falls. As for the end of day one, seeing Havasu Falls was really cool. That seems to kind of be like the hangout spot. I completely understand why. It's next to bathrooms, it's next to water. It's easy to just kind of run to and from camp.
The hike to get here is long and hot, but not necessarily hard. It is hot, but it makes the water feel really refreshing to jump into. For everyone who's very curious about nature versus nature, the bug report is so far pretty positive. The bugs are present. Like I can see bugs everywhere I look, but I have yet to get a mosquito bite, and that's the bug that I really can't handle.
When we were looking at the weather going into this trip, we noticed that on our very last day, there was supposed to be rain. That kind of nixes our ability to hike out early that morning. So tomorrow, we're going to try and hit all of the local falls just to kind of check everything off, then decide what we want to do the next day and see if we want to stay the full 4 days or if we want to head out early to kind of avoid the rain.
I think it's 7 p.m. right now. What time is it?
6:47.
So today kind of flew by, honestly. We'll head to bed early and see you in the morning.
Good night.
Good night. Good morning. We just finished our breakfast and we are finishing up packing our day bags. Then we're gonna head out to try to visit Beaver Falls and Mooney Falls. We have a big day ahead of us, so I am finishing my green tea that Jay made for me, and then we'll hit the road. I will say, we kind of slept in this morning. It's almost 8 a.m. now, and we have seen a lot of groups start walking in the direction of Beaver Falls and Mooney Falls, so we're not expecting to be the only ones there.
Right, it is 8:01. We left camp right on cue. The sun was just about to start blasting.
For those of you that are a little nervous about using the bathrooms, we did find out that the restrooms get cleaned every morning at 7 to 8 a.m. If you're pretty scheduled, that's a great time to go use the bathroom.
It slept so good. Being tired changes everything. We also have really comfortable sleeping pads sometimes.
Some serious Angel's Landing vibes. Wow.
This next part is where it gets really spicy. There's like a few caves we have to crawl through and some ladders we have to descend. Let's see how bad it really is. This area does work up a bit of a line because the only way to get down to the base of Mooney Falls or to get to Beaver Falls. Right, here we go.
It's kind of wild to think that we're just on this hillside right here. Like, we are climbing through holes in order to get down to this waterfall. They do give you lots of chains, and the rocks honestly have a lot of really good holds. If you've ever done anything resembling climbing, this shouldn't be too bad.
I'm working on the pace and stuff now. We've probably been in here like close to 30 or 40 minutes. Probably be close to an hour before it gets to the bottom.
It does force you to slow down, and this honestly isn't that bad of a view. He did it.
One slow person can really slow it all down. And I'm just gonna lie, the end, especially where it's wet, is quite scary. That being said, you can do a lot faster than an hour if someone's not for the hike. Mooney Falls is stunning, but the mist is so powerful, it doesn't make it a very good spot to chill and hang out. So I think we're going to keep moving on to Beaver Falls.
That being said, knowing how long it takes to get down Mooney and over to Beaver Falls, make sure to bring plenty of food and water. Just because it's only 5 miles round trip, do not think that it's a quick little out and back.
We did zero trail research, but I did know that crossing the river was possible, and looks like we gotta cross it. And 5'2" of me, I'm probably gonna be in hip deep.
What are you doing? Nina gets super peeved when the plants along the path brush her arms and her legs. She's just walking and looks a little abnormal as she does it. This is crazy. We're literally just in the middle of a jungle right now. I'm curious if this plant is native or invasive to this area because it has absolutely taken over this area.
It is so green for being in the middle of the desert. I feel like I'm, I don't know, in the rainforest. It's not sketchy at all. There's Bighorn sheep. He's kind of coming this way. He has awesome horns and looks very healthy.
I have so many questions for that little guy. How did he get down here? What's he doing? It's a pretty sweet spot to live. I don't blame him. I think this is our 4th string crossing. Kind of nice. Little excuse to cool down on the hike. I think we're getting close. We just passed some falls that were pretty cool and pretty impressive, but they're not beaver. I'm sure a lot of people stop there thinking that it is beaver, set up hammocks, get all ready and enjoy the falls. And if they would just keep going a little bit longer, they'd actually reach Beaver Falls. Whoa. We just got to Beaver Creek and we set our stuff down, sunscreened up, getting a little nib and waiting for our sunscreen to dry before we hop in the water. The hike to get here was just a little over an hour, about 11 o'clock right now. We took a bunch of pictures from one of the high lookout spots on the climb down. Fingers crossed that those turned out okay.
All right, we found a little spot here on the edge of the bottom pool. This bottom pool looks a lot less crowded than the upper pool up there. I will say though, for it being 90 degrees outside, I'm a little chilly.
It's tough because you feel like you're melting whenever you're hiking because it's so hot, and then you hop in the water, which feels great for like 5 minutes, and it gets really cold. Goldilocks has it tough out here. But it is so beautiful seeing just how much water is moving down here. It is so clear.
It definitely feels like it was worth the hike.
I would recommend to anybody who comes to Havasu Falls. All right, we're moving up to the top pool. Go, go, go.
It's gonna be cold.
Gotta swim, go, go, go. Got super grippy.
I was prepared for that misfit.
Well, now you gotta get up. Oh yeah.
Definitely bring some water shoes like Chacos or Tebas
I feel like Superman wearing these things. Oh yeah.
to warm up.
You're like a little lizard.
I'm trying not to be the type of person that stresses about Jay's cliff jumps and tells him not to do it, but after he got a concussion in Italy a couple years ago, cliff jumping, I have like no chill. looked out far there. It was terrifying. The cliff jumping has never been my favorite thing for myself, and I really hate it for Jay. Now he just found a really high spot. That was high. I feel so much better now that that's over.
Yeah, but don't you think that I should get like a POV top-down angle of me jumping?
Tell him you don't need it.
Then you guys will be able to figure out whether or not I'm actually crazy or Nina's just being a party pooper.
I told them why I freak out.
All right, I'm not super good at judging height. It always feels so much higher than you actually are. I don't know, I don't think this is the highest I've ever jumped from, but it always feels like it is. So this is what I'm looking at. I'll give you guys a little POV. This is my little nervous buck. Did you hear that? She said she's glad I'm okay. You staying warm?
It's so hard once you get all nice and warm again to get back in the water, but I really want you guys to see what the falls look like up close.
Yep, keep going. Here, give me your arm. Here. Good job. The current's pretty strong. Swimming against the falls, you have to paddle pretty hard, but you can climb out on the side. There's this little walkway where you can walk all along it without having to fight the current. This is incredible. If you have the guts to come explore this area, I would highly recommend it. You have to crawl this section to get up here. And my little Nina, she's just toasting up. But if you're trying to get away from crowds and you can climb to the top of Beaver Falls, it seems like your own little oasis.
Oh yeah. Boom. Leaving Beaver Falls, we didn't even bother drying off. We just threw our clothes on over and I'm already dry. We were at Beaver Falls for about an hour and a half. I have a feeling that this is my favorite simply because it's not as busy, yet it's still just so beautiful. Our plan right now is to hike back to camp. On the way, we'll obviously pass by Mooney Falls, maybe hang out for a little bit, depending on how long the line is for the climb back up. Then we'll eat lunch and then enjoy Havasu Falls as well as check out Navajo Falls. Block o'clock.
Yay.
This is gonna get us through. All right, I pretty much just soaked my entire shirt. Let's see how long it takes to dry. I just can't believe we're in the Grand Canyon. I've looked down from the top a handful of times, and to think that I'd ever be down here was just out of the question. We're just about to reach our next stream crossing, and my sun hoodie is almost completely dry, but it's been like 23 minutes. It has kept me so cool. I would highly, highly, highly recommend wearing a sun hoodie, getting it completely soaked for this hike.
Almost back to Mooney.
The waterfall is so powerful, it's created like a wave pool. You can just see there's waves literally crashing on the sand. This is insane.
Taking absolutely everything in me not to be in this water right now. But I don't do it because it's so beautiful.
So pretty.
Well, now that we've finished enjoying Mooney, we just have the slippery, wet climb up there. And there's actually no line right now, so hopefully it only takes a couple minutes. It's always hard to put on wet clothes or dry clothes while you're wet, but there's no better towel when it's 90 degrees out.
Nina is hiding from the mist while we wait for some guys to finish the ladder.
I am not protected at all.
Are you worried about getting cold?
Oh, I'm already cold. I've been hot, and very cold. It's much better when you don't have to wait on other people.
This climb down to the bottom of Mooney Falls
It's definitely more intense than
King, which we just did a few weeks ago, which is regarded as the scariest hike in all of Indonesia. This is wet, it's slippery, and there's a long line if you want to go down early in the morning. There's a little rainbow.
I know, it's so pretty.
Good job, lady.
Woo! Okay, it's hot up here.
Did you just say you're hot?
Yep. Shocker. I was cold like 3 minutes ago.
Let's see how long it took us. Just over 4 minutes.
Really? Compared to an hour. That's insane.
Seems like the sun has moved over the canyon. Hopefully our camp is shaded. I'll definitely say Mooney was much better in the afternoon than it was this morning. Once the sun is hitting it, not only is it warm, but it just like, you just see the blue and the color in the water. It is absolutely beautiful and has nowhere near the crowds that Havasu Falls has. I think the reason not as many people go to Mooney Falls is because number one, it's not as accessible. The climb down weeds out a lot of people. Two, it's on the far side of camp, so a lot of people like being at the very front of the campsite right next to the spring water. And three, because of all the mist that's spraying all over the place, it's not as easy to just lounge out and enjoy as it is at Havasu. Oh, and it's shaded.
I'm stoked to be back at camp, and now we get to pick out what we want to eat for lunch. When we first got to this campsite, I said I didn't think it was a very good one, but I gotta say, it's really grown on me, and I now think it's one of the best. We have a picnic table, we have our little tent. We're in the shade for like 20 hours a day. There's maybe like 3 or 4 hours that this spot isn't in the shade. And we do have the path right down here, but we have a little bit of space between us and the path, and then the creek right down there. If we need to like rinse our hands or just cool off our feet, it's been a good spot.
What I think makes this spot better than everywhere else is the fact that we have more privacy than anybody else. I can see one tent from here versus other people's campsites. It looks like they're camping together, that they're so close to other people.
Had to cool off for your warm lunch.
It's so hot out here all the time. The only way to stay cool is to be wet. If you are concerned about privacy, it's important to know that the river and all the waterfalls are super loud. You can still be really close to other people and still feel like you're having private conversations simply because nobody else can hear you. You can barely hear each other.
Nina told me that she was done with her lunch, and this is what I see. She ate only the potatoes out of the mashed potatoes with chicken.
I knew I wanted mashed potatoes, and I also knew I did not want chicken.
And now, for
On a
dessert,
treat.
she wants to eat our energy waffle because it's just so yummy.
This is the Honey Stinger Energy Waffle, specifically the cookies and cream flavor, but both the cookies and cream and the vanilla are a treat. They are so good. All right, we are all geared up and ready to hike over to Navajo Falls. I soaked my t-shirt in the river to hopefully keep me cool on the way over there.
You might notice that I'm barefoot right now, and that's just because I've been getting a couple blisters. But the only thing that hurts worse than blisters is having people watching our videos that aren't subscribed to our channel. So if that's you, take a moment right now, fix that problem, just like I'm fixing my blisters.
Something you'll notice right at the top of Havasu Falls is there's a fry bread stand, and that is something the locals make here and sell. It is a great option if you run out of food or just want a little snack. They are cash only. I think they run about $20 US. We just ate lunch, so we decided to pass for today, but they definitely look very good. Waterfall number 3 today is 50-foot falls.
It only took us 27 minutes from the campground to get here. Really not bad. Oh.
Pretty snakes shouldn't be poisonous, right?
It slithered right in there. This is probably the third time where Nina has told me she doesn't want to do something today. And as I've done it, I've been like, you have to do this, whether it's going up into the upper pools of Beaver Falls or swimming below Mooney Falls, and now just looking at 50-foot falls. She had to take her socks off with her Tevas to be able to come over here. I understand why 50-foot falls doesn't get all the attention that the other falls do. Main reason being the trail feels a little bit more primitive. That being said, I did do it completely barefoot, and then there's no beach or real good area for hanging out. But being the only people there, seeing it closer to sunset, very, very glad we went. I was definitely hot getting here, but in the shade, these waterfalls are very cold. Oh, she came in. Gonna see if I can go behind the waterfall. No! There's a whole cave in here.
So that was waterfall number number 405, which is Navajo Falls. It wasn't as crowded as some of the others. There was just us and one other couple there. We were there just before sunset and we're leaving now at 5:30. And I thought it was a great time to go and just enjoy. And now we are on our way to our 5th and final waterfall of Havasupai, Havasu Falls. This fall is the most beautiful, but it's also the most accessible and has the best sitting area and beach, making it the most crowded. It's not a policy, it's a pack.
I'm really curious how they survive out here because I haven't seen anybody feed them yet. My guess is they just scrounge and figure it out. You look so glum. You look so sad how you walk. I watched a video on YouTube of all these massive cliff jumpers just sending it from the top of the Supai Falls. My teenage dream of cliff jumping at Havasu Falls was just fulfilled.
And for the record, he didn't do a backflip only because I told him not to.
I gave Nina the thumbs up, looking backwards because I was about to go. She was like, do not do it.
I just screamed, no! And then he jumped off straight because he's nice to me. It's 6:15 p.m. and we are the only ones here, so we can't resist jumping in the water together. Before I just say, I can't resist, Jay already has, and I know I just need to jump in it while no one else is here. I'm not excited about it, it's cold out.
How often do you get to swim at Havasu Falls with nobody else around?
Like you don't know how to walk.
Yeah.
It was really cool being able to do all 5 waterfalls in one day. But I gotta say, walking back to camp right now, I'm getting a little sad that we're leaving Havasupai.
Yeah, Grand Canyon's pretty when it's not unbearably hot. Homeward Bound has showed up to claim their territory.
Evening check-in.
Bye. End of day 2. Time to sleep. Yesterday was not a chill day, obviously. We almost hiked 10 miles down here, and today we hiked just as much. We clocked 7 or 8 miles, so I'm feeling quite tired.
That being said, we're going to bed at 8 o'clock because we have a 4 a.m. wake-up call in order to hike out and beat the heat.
Everything so far has felt very doable to me. I knew I could hike downhill down here. I knew I could hike between the waterfalls, but going 10 miles up in the heat feels very intimidating for tomorrow.
And you may realize that we're only using 3 of our 4 days that we get here in Havasupai because if you remember at the beginning of the video, we said that it was going to be raining on our last day here. Not only would it be hard to enjoy Havasupai, but it would make the hike out absolutely miserable. So unfortunately, we are cutting our Havasupai trip 1 day short in order to beat the rain. That being said, you guys might be wondering if this is worth it, and we're gonna tell you guys once we get back to the car.
Good night.
See you at 4 a.m.
It's 4 a.m. and we gotta beat the heat, so time to pack up the tent.
Almost there. Go, 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 go. You hitchhiked maybe 100 yards.
It's okay. It mattered so much.
We made it.
It took us 5 hours almost on the dot to get back to the car from the campsite up to the trailhead. And that last mile with all of that incline was
So hard.
absolutely brutal. Once we got to the car, we were just so gassed. We drove straight to the closest In-N-Out, completely loaded up. So now that we got some food in our system and we've been on the road for a little bit, we figured we would give you guys some final thoughts as well as tell you whether or not Havasupai was worth it.
A few things we really enjoyed having. We each brought a pair of hiking boots for the hike down and then some water shoes, so we had tebas while we were down there, and we ended up hiking around in our tebas pretty much the entire time that we were down at camp, which was great because there are so many stream crossings and it's really nice to have water shoes in all the waterfalls since the bottom can be kind of rocky. We would recommend having some sort of day bag when you're down there. So for us, Jay brought a 65-liter pack and packed almost all of our camping stuff in his big backpacking backpack, and I brought just a little 20-liter day bag. And when we were down there, I had a day pack and then Jay also had a day pack to carry for the little hikes throughout.
I always thought Havasupai was this big backpacking destination, and that was not really the case. With the introduction of the helicopter, people being able to fly down, the big mule business, being able to take down people's packs for them. I think Havasupai as a whole has become much more accessible. It felt much more like a local campground.
We're guessing that probably about 50% of the people down there either used the helicopter to fly in and out or paid for the mules to carry their bags. My favorite fall that we went to was Havasu Falls. It is the most popular and crowded and famous. It was so beautiful and so like swimmable and such a great place to chill. We learned that if you go to any of the falls at either sunrise or sunset, you are very likely to have it all to yourselves.
Which is a great time to go get pictures too. I would say Beaver Falls was my favorite simply because of the adventure to get there. Having to climb down and go past Mooney Falls is super special. And then I think the distance to get to Beaver Falls does help weed out some of the crowds and have little jumping spots. But I would highly recommend going and seeing all of the waterfalls if you have the time.
The one thing we didn't do, even though we went to all 5 of the falls, was go to the confluence. But the confluence is about a 20-mile day from camp to the point where the Havasu Creek meets with the Colorado River. But because of the distance, we decided not to do it. I don't regret not doing it.
And now to finally answer the big question of, is $450 per person to go to Havasupai worth it? Answer at the same time. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Maybe.
One time. It is not the type of backpacking trip you're going to do over and over again.
I think it depends. And you're thinking about purchasing plane tickets, then you're also going to have to get a rental car to get to the trailhead, as well as probably stay the night somewhere close locally before to be able to get your permits and start early the next day. With all of those things tacked on top of the already very expensive permit fee, I think you should start to look at other bucket list backpacking destinations like Salcante in Peru, Patagonia, Dolomites in Italy. I think they are a little bit more iconic and geared more towards backpackers rather than just pretty picture spots.
That's just our opinions.
Obviously, you won't know unless you go and try for yourself. And you may have noticed we posted 2 backpacking trips in a row. If you enjoyed them or there's a place that you want us to go backpack and check out, please let us know down in the comments. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time for another best day ever.
No!
You look like such a boy right now in this video.
Is it Mooney or Moody?
Mooney, like the
Yeah.
sun and moon.
Sorry, I'm really trying to get the top of the ball. I think I got it.
I need maps, Ben.
Bad. Holy crap. What's going to happen? Are you going to run into this curb?
Then I saw the snake body.